Have you ever been swept away by negative emotions before you even had a chance to pause? Have there been times when you said something that hurt someone and ended up blaming yourself all day? Something bad happened and your mind instantly created a worse scenario, then an even worse one. Just one small mistake made you feel useless, like a failure, not good enough. You're not alone. We've all been caught in those spirals of negativity. It often starts with just one moment, but then spreads, weighs you down, and swallows your entire day, your energy, even your confidence. Explosion symbol, but the scariest part isn't the negative emotion itself. It's that you let it run on autopilot without knowing how to stop it. That's when you need a tool, incredibly simple, but powerfully effective. Right pointing back hand index, the 7-second reset rule. Just 7 seconds is enough to stop the self-destructive mental spiral. Just 7 seconds to cut the loop, reset your mind, and take back control of your emotions. If you've ever felt yourself being pulled into negative thought patterns, if you want to learn how to take charge of your emotions from the very first moment, right pointing back hand index, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to get powerful tools that help you redesign yourself every single day. And don't forget to leave a comment. I choose to reset my emotions in 7 seconds. Part 1. Why does your brain automatically create negative scenarios? Think back to the last time something went wrong. A harsh comment from your boss. A cold message from someone you care about. A small mistake at work. Your rational mind may have said, "It's okay. It's not a big deal." But your brain started telling a story. They don't respect me. Maybe I really am incompetent. I always mess things up. In just a few seconds, you were pulled into a spiral of negative thoughts. The neuroscience. Why does this happen? When you experience something negative, your amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, is instantly triggered. It sounds the alarm and begins crafting a story to explain, protect, or prepare for what it perceives as danger. But here's the catch. Electric light bulb, your brain doesn't distinguish between real danger and emotional discomfort. Even a glance, a word, or a tone can make your brain react as if you're facing a real threat. Warning sign # your mind fills in the blanks with the worst assumptions. This is called negativity bias, a built-in survival instinct. Humans evolved to pay more attention to risks, mistakes, and threats because that's what helped our ancestors survive. You forget to return a call, "I'm so irresponsible." Someone doesn't smile at you, "They must not like me." You receive one piece of criticism, "I'm not good enough." Heavy exclamation mark symbol, these assumptions aren't facts, but your brain treats them as threats. Then comes the dangerous loop. Trigger, negative interpretation, emotional reaction, reinforce memory, repeated narrative, false belief. You're no longer reacting to just this moment. You're reacting to every unhealed wound from your past. And the scariest part? Right pointing back hand index, all of this happens in just a few seconds, before you even realize what's going on. That's why you need the 7-second reset rule. 7 seconds, not to solve the problem, but to interrupt the automatic cycle. To insert awareness into the gap so that instead of being controlled by your emotions, you regain control over your response. Part 2. How can 7 seconds be enough to reset your mind? 7 seconds sounds short. A commercial takes longer than that. Even sending a text might take more time. But in those 7 seconds, if you do nothing, you're actually doing something powerful. You're pausing. You're taking back control before your emotions hijack your entire mind. What happens in your brain during those 7 seconds? When you're hit with a negative trigger, your brain reacts almost instantly, within the first 1 to 3 seconds. Your amygdala fires a threat signal, which sets off a cascade of automatic reactions. Heart rate spikes. Muscles tense. Mental stress builds. Your mind starts telling a negative story. But here's the scientific insight. Electric light bulb, if you can hold awareness for just 6 to 10 seconds. You give your prefrontal cortex, the rational, regulating part of the brain, a chance to kick back in. White right pointing back hand index. That's why 7 seconds is a golden window. It's the precious space between instinctive reaction and intentional response. ## What can you do during those 7 seconds to reset? You don't need a grand gesture. Just take one deep breath. Look into the distance and blink slowly. Silently ask yourself, does this emotion truly represent me? Or simply, say nothing. React to nothing. Just pause. Those 7 seconds are not about solving the entire problem. They're about cutting the automatic chain reaction and giving you time to choose your response. Pushpin examples in real life. Someone criticizes you in front of others. Take 7 seconds to breathe before reacting. You make a small mistake at work. Take 7 seconds to avoid spiraling into self-blame. You read a message that hits a nerve. Take 7 seconds before responding from pain. It's just 7 seconds, but it can be the barrier between you and an emotional spiral. Electric light bulb science calls this process cognitive decoupling, separating awareness from automatic reaction. And the more often you practice it, the more your brain rewires itself. You're not just pausing. You're rewriting your emotional response system. Part 3. 3 real-life moments where 7 seconds can save you. The 7-second rule isn't some distant theory or complicated technique. It's an emotional rescue tool, one you can apply instantly, right in the middle of daily life, where impulsive reactions often lead to lasting regret. Here are 3 everyday scenarios, and how just 7 seconds can change everything if you act in time. White heavy checkmark Scenario 1, when you're publicly criticized. You're speaking during a meeting. Suddenly, someone cuts you off and throws a harsh comment in front of everyone. White right pointing back hand index. Your automatic reaction. You flash with anger, feel attacked, and want to snap back to defend your pride. But if you pause for 7 seconds, you take a deep breath. You hold eye contact, but stay silent. You feel the anger, without letting it dictate your words. Bullseye the result? You respond with composure. They lose their rhythm, and you keep your dignity. You don't just protect your image, you protect your deeper self-respect. White heavy checkmark Scenario 2, when you make a mistake at work. You accidentally send the wrong file to a client. Immediately, your brain starts firing thoughts like, I'm so careless. I've ruined everything. I'm just not good enough. If you don't intervene, you'll act from fear, shame, or insecurity. But if you pause for 7 seconds, you sit up straight and breathe. You tell yourself, that was a slip. It doesn't define me. You respond to the email calmly, instead of panicking with over-apologies. Bullseye. A small mistake doesn't become a downward spiral, because you knew when to stop the slide. White heavy checkmark Scenario 3, when negative emotions hit for no clear reason. Some days you just wake up drained, low, and foggy. No one said anything wrong. Nothing bad happened. Yet your mind starts whispering. My life feels meaningless. No one really gets me. I don't even know what I'm doing. If you let that current carry you, your whole day will feel heavy and blurred. But if you break the cycle with 7 seconds, you stand up. Place a hand over your heart. Say quietly, I'm just tired, not hopeless. Bullseye. The emotional wave doesn't have to wash away your whole day if you know how to stand firm at the first ripple. White heavy checkmark. In summary, the 7-second rule isn't a psychological trick. It's an emergency brake for your mind. You can't always stop emotions from rising, but you can choose not to act on the wrong ones. Part 4. Turn the 7-second rule into a life habit so emotions never control you again. The 7-second rule isn't just a technique, it's a mental skill. Like any muscle, if you don't train it regularly, it won't be strong enough to support you when you need it most. So how do you make this 7-second pause a natural reflex, instead of something you constantly have to remember? White heavy checkmark 1. Attach the 7-second rule to small everyday moments. You don't have to wait for stress to practice. Start using your 7-second pause during the simplest moments of daily life. Before replying to a message. Before hitting send on an email. Before entering a meeting room. Before reacting to a comment from someone close to you. Pushpin. These everyday pauses train your brain to create a buffer between stimulus and reaction, a safe space where clarity can live. White heavy check mark 2. Set daily triggers to remind you. Just like physical training, your mental reset needs activation cues to become habitual. Set your phone wallpaper to say 7 seconds. Don't rush. Add 2 daily alarms titled Take your 7 seconds now. Stick a note on your mirror that reads Stop. Breathe. Reset. Bullseye. These reminders don't just help you remember, they reprogram your mind to believe. Calm is a choice, not a condition. White heavy check mark 3. Repeat it long enough, and you will become someone new. You don't need to control your emotions for life. You just need to control the first 7 seconds and let your inner strength handle the rest. Over time, you'll notice. You don't snap as easily as before. You start responding instead of reacting. You feel lighter, clearer, and more trustworthy to others and to yourself. You don't have to force yourself to be strong. You just need to pause for 7 seconds and let your strength rise from there. Electric light bulb. Because true strength isn't about being untouched by emotion. It's about not being swept away by it. And sometimes, the only thing that keeps you grounded is just 7 seconds of stillness before the storm. Just 7 seconds. But it can change the course of your entire life. You don't need to become someone who's immune to emotion. No one is. And no one should be. Emotions are part of being human. But you do have the power to choose how you respond to them. There are tiny moments. A word that hurts you. A mistake that makes you want to hide. A negative thought that starts small and spreads into everything. In those exact moments, you have 2 choices. Pause for 7 seconds and take control. Or react instantly and lose it. Bullseye. You don't have to fix everything. You just have to own the first 7 seconds, and the rest becomes easier. Like holding the steering wheel when the car skids. Like taking a deep breath before diving underwater. Like grounding yourself before life pulls you too far. 7 seconds won't make you perfect. But it's enough to keep you from reacting wrong. And sometimes, that alone can save your entire day. If you're ready to stop being swept away by negative emotions. White right pointing back hand index. Try the 7-second rule today. And if you're in, drop a comment below. I choose to take control in the first 7 seconds. Pushpin. Don't forget to thumbs up sign like this video if the message resonated with you. Bell. Subscribe to Everyday Momentum for weekly tools to help you live with more clarity and intention. Speech balloon and share this video with a friend who might need to learn how to pause.